Now, NBC5 Investigates. Ride service companies have changed the way people get around.
But an NBC Investigative team report found you may put yourself at risk when you take a ride with UberX, the least expensive of the cars offered by Uber. Here's NBC's Tammy Leitner.
All you do is download the Uber app, give your credit card information once, and a total stranger picks you up in their personal car.
Hi, are you Uber?
Yeah. It's touted as a modern alternative to taxis.
People like it.
But rapidly growing companies like Uber operate virtually unregulated here in Chicago and across the U.S.
You don't really have to do any training.
NBC5 Investigates hired UberX drivers to take us to some of Chicago's most popular landmarks.
The Public Library, City Hall, the Willis Tower.
But our undercover video shows not one of the 5 drivers knew his way around the city.
Did we go the wrong way?
I have to go to Utah. Now I need the address. Do you know how to get there?
We ran background checks on these drivers and discovered ticket after ticket for speeding, illegal stops, and running lights. Even this driver with 26 traffic tickets passed Uber's background check.
I have a 3-page rap sheet.
Reformed California criminal Beverly Locke agreed to help us test the system. Uber says it does not hire anyone with severe driving violations or convictions in the last 7 years for violent crimes, felonies, sexual offenses, drugs, or DUIs. Locke has priors in California for burglary, drugs, and assault, and is still on probation. Yet after she filled out Uber's online application, this ex-con was hired to be a driver.
I would pick somebody up, take them to the airport, and my second thought would be to go back to that house, see what's in there.
Uber tells us it's run 8,400 background checks just this year and flagged 15% of the applicants. Yet we found plenty of ex-cons that made it through. In San Francisco, Syed Musafar was arrested for hitting and killing a 6-year-old girl on New Year's Eve. He also has a prior conviction for reckless driving. Back in Chicago, Tadeusz Shahavitz tells us he drove for UberX for a year, despite 5 prior arrests and 2 convictions for burglary and disorderly conduct. UberX driver Jignesh Kumar Patel was recently arrested for battery, hit with a restraining order, and served a civil suit after a passenger accused him of sexual assault. He says the accusations are rubbish. But NBC5 Investigates found Patel should have never been driving for Uber in the first place because of a 2012 DUI conviction.
The consumer at large is in harm's way.
Background checks are not the only issue. Illinois State Senator Martin Sandoval says customers, drivers, and pedestrians are not covered if involved in an UberX accident.
You are at risk when you get into a ride-sharing vehicle.
All I remember was waking up inside the actual ambulance.
Jason Herrera's accident happened in San Francisco when his UberX driver, Bassem El-Batniji, smashed into another car. Herrera is now suing Uber because it denies responsibility.
We expect them to have coverage when you're their customer.
UberX drivers are only required to carry personal auto insurance, and El-Batniji's personal insurance has since dropped him and won't cover the accident.
They destroyed my life, Uber.
The company insists customers and UberX drivers would be covered by its $1 million commercial liability policy, which is in excess to the driver's own policy.
Each driver has an insurance of about $1 million.
And so UberX drivers continue to operate under the assumption they are insured, while passengers could potentially pay a price beyond the fare charged by the app.
Everything is safe and it's good.
Just in the last week, Uber has added a $1 fee to all UberX rides to cover the cost of background checks, driver safety education, and insurance. And one more note on this story, we discovered just yesterday the driver of the other car in Herrera's incident is a relative of an NBC Bay Area employee. Now, we did ask Uber numerous times for an on-camera interview, and it declined. Tammy Leitner, NBC5 Investigates.